page should look like this. Number one asks us, answer the questions about this number line. -4, -9, -4, and 0. It says which is greater, -9 or -4? Explain. So I'll give you an example. So which one's bigger, -4 or -3? Now, I know 8 looks greater, but actually -3 would be the greater number than -8 because it's closer to 0. Anytime we do a number line, whatever number is closer to 0 from the negative numbers, for example, if you have -10 and -1, the negative number closer to 0, that's the bigger one. It's closer to 0. So this explanation only works when they're both negatives. Now the next one says which is greater, the absolute value, and I'll do a different example. The absolute value of -8 or the absolute value of -3. Now if you remember correctly, absolute value means how far are you from 0. So for example, how far is -8 from 0? How many lines? 8. How many is -3? 1, 2, 3. It's 3 away. So the absolute value of -8 is 8, and the absolute value of -3 is 3. So the number that is greater is this one, because it's farther from 0. Now let's look at question number 2. Tell us, a football team tries to move the ball forward as many yards as possible on each play, but sometimes they end up behind where they started. The distances in yards that the team moves on its first 5 plays are 2 yards, -1 yards, so they went +4 and +3 yards, and then -5 yards. A positive number indicates moving the ball forward, and a negative number indicates moving the ball backwards. So they started off here. They went 2 forward, so they would have to go 1, 2. Right? So let's say they start at the 10 yard, and they go up 2 yards. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, we're at 12. Now they lost 1 yard. Okay, so they lost 1. Okay, so now they're at 11. Okay, now +4 now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12, 13, 14, 15. They're at the 15 yard. Then they add 5. Then they go back 5 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're back over here where they started. Which number in the list is the greatest? So the number in the list that's the greatest would be the 4 on this one. What is a better question to ask to find out which play went the farthest from where the team started? What is a better question? Which is how many yards did they move after? Okay. Yeah, you don't have to answer this one. I get what they're trying to explain, but yeah, don't do this one. When does it make sense to compare the absolute values of numbers rather than the numbers themselves? When you're comparing the absolute values, it makes sense to compare them when you're asking how far is it from 0. People, I don't like these questions. I'll help you out with this one, that's fine. When does it make sense to compare the absolute values of numbers rather than the numbers themselves? When figuring out the distance of something. When figuring out the distance. When figuring out the distance, we want absolute value. We want absolute value. When we want how much they're worth, how much something is worth, like money, or you owe something somebody, that's when you want regular numbers. That's pretty easy, people. Now I know there's more pages on this packet. I'm not gonna have you turn them in because we've done some of this stuff over the year, and when we return from spring break, we have to start a new online learning. So a lot of this that we're using, we're not going to be using anymore. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys can join us for our Zoom sessions next week. They're not going to be about any work or anything, just to hang out, get used to the Zoom program, and just getting you guys used to how I'm going to do lessons. But that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.